Good morning. It is July 7th and I camped here last night, and now I'm going to go down this spur trail to go get some water because the next few water sources are all spur trails, and this one sounds like the most accessible. Sounds like you don't have to go the full 0.7 miles to get the water right now because it's we still have some snow melt that's feeding the water sources. Last night was a nice restful night, quiet, and there was one other person camping with me, so I was a little hushed when I was giving my wrap up last night, but they left before I got out of my tent this morning, so they must have been early birds. Today I'm going to attempt to go 20 miles. That feels pretty ambitious, but I don't have any major uphill climbs, just kind of ups and downs and small ups and downs. So hopefully it'll be manageable and I will be able to make some miles today. All right, let's head down this spur trail and get some water. Well, this Carter Creek water source was easy enough to walk to, but the flow is not very high anymore, and so it took multiple grabs with my water bladder to get enough water to fill up my bottles. But it was all right. The water is cold and clear and is running, so I have no problem with that. It just took a little bit longer. And there are some mosquitoes here, but luckily they weren't too vicious. Maybe they haven't quite woke up for the morning. So, all right, back up the spur and actually get onto the PCT. A deer and two fawns are coming down the trail, and one of the little fawns just ducked under this blowdown and was running at me, and then saw me and did a U-turn and went out the other way. But that was pretty cute. There they go. My juvenile humor cannot help but get a little giggle out of that. I'm here at the junction to Robbers Spring, having a little snack break. Beef jerky bites. I've done 4.8 miles on the PCT plus the 0.8 that I did down and back on the spur trail, 0.8 total, on that spur trail to get water this morning at Carter Creek. And I still have 16 miles to go for my goal campsite, which will set me up well for tomorrow, but we'll see if that's achievable or not. At this moment, I'm feeling like that feels like a really far distance. I am evaluating the difference between my trail shoes. I had Ultra Lone Peak 9s in a wide size that I was wearing up until that last stretch, that last segment that I did, when I switched to some Hoka Speed Goats. And I like how the Hoka Speed Goats have more heel cushion, but the Ultras definitely have a wider toe box, and I have wide feet, and the Hokas were making my toes rub together, and that was uncomfortable. So I wish that there was a combination of the wide toe box of an Ultra Lone Peak and the extra heel cushioning of a Hoka Speed Goat. I think all in all, the Ultras are the better choice for me. I just need to strengthen my heel and calf muscles a little bit more, I guess. Musings on trail shoes. They're so different for everybody. Different people have different feet needs, and so they need different kinds of shoes. I've been wearing trail runners. Some people wear boots. It's it's a personal choice. I'm going to take a little time here to rest in the shade and refuel, and then I'll keep on keeping on. As if these prickly bushes, whatever they are, aren't bad enough. Now they seem to be the favorite place for these black fuzzy caterpillars to hang out on. And then as I'm walking past them, they are getting on my shoes and on my pants. I already had a freak out and flicked all of them off once already. But I have plenty more of this shrubby crap to go. And I am probably going to be crawling in caterpillars. Ugh. I don't want to jinx it, but it does appear that the caterpillars have gone away or are not on the shrubs that are right next to the trail right now, but there's still plenty of those prickly shrubs. And once again, walking through a burn zone. But at least it's later in the day. It's about 7 o'clock, so it isn't quite so hot. This is the wrap-up for July 7th. I did not make my 20-mile goal. I think I have overestimated my abilities in relation to the elevation in this stretch. So I'm going to do some evaluation of the mileage and the elevation gain and loss tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm heading into the town of Belden, and there's quite a bit of descent down into the town, and then an even steeper ascent climbing out of town. So I might need to get a few things at the general store in Belden and extend my segment and have Southern Minnesota guy get me a little bit later, just so that I can stretch out the mileage a little bit more on these days. Today was all right. I felt slow, but it was all right. I was walking along the ridgeline for a lot of it, so I got to see some nice views, but that also meant that I was out in the sun a lot. I would say the low light of the day was when I was walking through the prickly thorn bushes and discovered there were caterpillars that were dropping onto my legs and shoes. That was a bit of a freak out moment. Thank goodness was very short-lived. So the caterpillar part, the prickly bushes went on and on. Anyway, until next time, come along with me as I hike slow, take a lot of pictures, and eat a lot of snacks. Good night.